आपने सुनी, अभी आपको ले चलेंगे। तो जरदारी इस वक्त पीटी वर्ल्ड से गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं।
India to this day cannot tell me and cannot tell you and cannot tell the world that who is this Pakistani terrorist that was involved in the terrorist attack in occupied Kashmir. How did he get into Kashmir? Where did he go after conducting this attack? If he was in a terrorist hideout in Pakistan, there must be some evidence of him coming and going. Surely it would have been more efficient had they shared this evidence with us. If their terrorist attack, if they truly were just targeting a terrorist attack, then they'd know. They'd know from these supposed so-called precision strikes against terrorist infrastructure. They'd know exactly the names of the terrorists that they killed, which attacks they were involved in. But to this day, India cannot share these truths with the world. And that is why ultimately Pakistan will win. They may be bigger, they may have more resources, but we have truth, facts, history on our side. Their war is based on a lie. Their war is based on division. Their war is based on hate. Our stance is based on truth, it's based on reality. Our people are united not because of fear, not because of division, not because of hate, but in the name of our martyrs and to protect the dignity and sovereignty of our land. We have demonstrated that India may be larger than us, but our Air Force has demonstrated that they, while less in number, are far more efficient in the skies, and our armed forces will demonstrate that while they may be larger in number, as the saying goes, the larger they are, the greater they fall.
Right, agreed. But my question remains, who is going to hold India accountable?
As far as holding India accountable, that has been Pakistan's stance between not only at the United Nations, but in front of the international community. It is for the international community and these very international institutions to hold, whether it's India, whether it's Pakistan, or any other country, to account. That is why we set up these institutions after the world wars, to ensure that we had peace in our time, that our disputes were resolved through the course of international law and at the forum of these international institutions. But it is India, because their case is weak, because their case is unjust, because it is not based in international law, because they have no hope of succeeding at international forums, have time and time again, whether it's the question of Kashmir and their right of the people of Kashmir to self-determination through a plebiscite and India's obligations to international law through the UN Security Council and its resolutions. India has refused to abide by them. Whether it's the 2019 actions of unilaterally changing the status of this internationally recognized disputed territory and continuing with their repression and suppression of the people of Kashmir, or it's their latest response to unilaterally and illegally depart from the Indus Water Treaty, which is the gold standard of diplomacy between any two countries. So as far as holding India accountable, all of these forums are designed to hold India accountable, and they must hold India accountable. If they can't hold India accountable today, then tomorrow they won't be able to stop the next country. We are seeing internationally that international law is being stretched, international institutions are being challenged. Correct. But I think that this is all the more reason for Pakistan and all those in the international community who believe in international law, who believe in a community of nations, to stand our ground, to not be bullied, to not cower in the face of these so-called regional powers such as India, who try to use their might, try to use propaganda, try to use lies to bully their way in the international order. And that is a case that Pakistan will fight. We're currently fighting it in the battlefield and in the skies, and we'll continue to fight it in the platform of diplomacy in the United Nations and elsewhere.
Absolutely. In the current scenario, what will be Pakistan's demands from these international platforms?
In the current scenario, Pakistan is the aggrieved party. India is the aggressor. So it could legitimately expect for the United Nations and other such forums not only to call out to the aggressor, but to ensure that sanity prevails in Delhi, that they cease their hostilities, their aggressions, force them to accept Pakistan's demand of an impartial international inquiry into not only this, but any other future terrorist attack, to ensure that we don't continue this perpetual cycle of violence, and at the same time to also ensure that India, when it comes to the table, not in the shadow of bombs or missiles or drones, but in an atmosphere of peace, and has a genuine dialogue. And only through dialogue and diplomacy can India and Pakistan ultimately address this and any and all issues that are pending between us.
At the heart of the matter, of course, is the issue of the occupied valley. Will that also be able to be addressed at the international platforms that we're suggesting?
As far as the issue of the unfulfilled promises to the people of Kashmir made by the United Nations, the international community, but also by India and Pakistan, while Pakistan believes in peace, believes in dialogue, and diplomacy is the only way and the only pathway forward, if India seeks to ignore the question of Kashmir, then I believe that any peace in South Asia will be short-lived. We will be unable to address broader issues. We will unable to achieve lasting peace and stability. We will be unable to effectively counter terrorism unless India is ready and willing to accept UN Security Council resolutions, abide with the promises they made to the UN and to the people of Kashmir, allow them to speak, allow them to choose their own destiny. As long as this wound is left festering, then we haven't addressed the root cause.
पाकिस्तान ने भारतीय जारियत का मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया है। पाक फ़ज़ाइये ने भारत के 5 तैयारे मार गिराए। बिलावल भुट्टो ज़रदारी पीटी वर्ल्ड को जो इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं वो आप मुलाहिज़ा कर रहे थे। ट्रांसमिशन का सिलसिला जारी है। एक ब्रेक लेंगे, ब्रेक के